was proven in court that there was no interference. Mike Pence, the response.
Agudas Yisrael, the main advocacy group for Orthodox Jews in America, was invited to the White House by Joe Biden for an initiative to combat anti-Semitism in the United States. People in the Jewish community take this as a positive step coming from Joe Biden and the White House, that they want to step up efforts to combat anti-Semitism. I will say this: people think that the Republicans are more traditional, more conservative, will protect Jewish values more in the United States. I think it's the opposite. I think the Democrats, because they're liberalism, and basically they're fighting for any type of ethnicity, fighting for trans rights, LGBTQ communities. So they also, by the same token, give the same rights to the Jewish people and fight anti-Semitism the same way. So I really feel the Democratic Party is really going to help the Jews in America better. Ron DeSantis' team has outlined their strategy in trying to fight Donald Trump and win the Republican nomination. They're spending a lot of money in the 18 states where the primaries are held first. Sending approximately 30,000 people knocking on doors, telling them to vote for Ron DeSantis. I really believe he's doing it the wrong way, this plan. Ron DeSantis, his calling card is the fact that he's younger than Donald Trump. He appeals to the younger generation. It's exactly the opposite. Donald Trump is more in line with the younger generation. The younger generation feels closeness to him, and the fact that he calls out people by name. Ron DeSantis has to get like Trump, call out people by name, take those social media like Trump did in 2016, and get to the younger generation and tell them why the younger candidate is a better fit for the presidency. Tonight will be Game 6 between the Heat and the Boston Celtics. Jimmy Butler apparently has guaranteed a victory in Game 6. After the first 3 games of the series, with the Heat taking a commanding 3-0 lead, people were comparing Jimmy Butler and Michael Jordan. They're calling him Jimmy Jordan, even though he never even won a title yet. But if they do in fact collapse and lose 4 games, which will be the first time ever in the history of the NBA in the playoffs that a team has lost a 3-0 lead, which is very possible. The Celtics have 1 game at home left. If they can win this game tonight on the road, it's very likely that they'll win the series. This would be the biggest epic failure in playoff history, with the exact opposite of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the most clutch player in NBA history. Jimmy Butler will go down as the most unclutch player in NBA history. There was an unusual amount of calls on stock options on Friday, in the past trading session. A lot of tech stocks, especially the ones like Microsoft and AMD and NVIDIA, especially with the chips and the artificial intelligence, really boomed. Had an amazing week. A lot of people made a lot of money selling with stock options. I still believe firmly that if you have a good amount of money, I would say $100,000 or $200,000 to invest, it's a lot smarter to invest that in the stock market, which is far easier to invest in than real estate. People always compare, is it easier to earn money in real estate, stock market? Stock market, you can sit at home. You don't have to do too much. If you have a good amount of money, stock trading with options during a bull market is probably the best way, easiest way to make a lot of money. You hedge your bets with the option, and you can make a lot of money just by sitting at home. There was an interesting report that the only developed country in the entire world that has an above average replacement rate, meaning basically more people are being born than dying, is Israel. There's no other country, developed country in the world, that has a replacement rate of 2.1, which is essentially what Israel's is, which is startling news, because a lot of people you see in the modern media think there's a problem of overpopulation in the world, when in fact people, the real intellects like Elon Musk, Jordan Peterson, continuously emphasize that people, the world's population will never get bigger than 9 billion people. I think the real truth is that it's actually good to have a family, more than 2, 3, or 4 kids. I have 4 kids. Having a family brings stability to your life, and in later years brings a lot of fun to your life, especially when you're older and you can see your kids getting married and having grandchildren. I think it's underestimated in modern day society.